Christ ló bá rúfin o.
Máyégún wà mí.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Good morning to you again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún Live. Brethren and dear Templars, please read beyond the caption of this broadcast. Take a moment and read the description as well. Like it, share it, to invite your friends and your not so friendly friends, your frenemies. Tell them that Máyégún is back. And we are starting tonight from the latest Lamba. Lamba means lies, unsubstantiated positions from the Tinubu's regime. So I'm going to need you to not be a pessimist, okay? But someone, about the people who just want to put to use their brains. It's important that we clear that part. Tinubu's regime, Tinubu's illegitimate regime, has shown their ineptitude, their inefficiency, their all these things that are pretty much like depreciating, so to say, in public finance management, economic management, and all management altogether, except for the looting, which seems to have been like their real forte, so to say. Yesterday, that was the first time I saw the news. Number one, you just have to try to compare and contrast, and then you have the answer. Most of what you're going to ask, they are like rhetorical questions that you already know the answers. But I remember telling everyone back then, I think it was last year, that Tinubu's gang of thieves, mismanagers, that they will feed you with propaganda. Una go come dey get pot belly. Yeah, you will be fed with so much propaganda that people go to see you, they get pot belly. I say, now they enjoy you. And you go come to tell them, say, propaganda lanje. You get? Say, you are looking fresh, you. Tell us the secret, and you'll be telling them that looking fresh. You let's say you did blind. Now propaganda with the chop. That they will be telling you things. And some of you will be asking yourself, like, they're talking about this Nigeria. Sorry, what I just heard now, is it talking about this Nigeria or another one? They will then gaslight you to say you are just an hater who never wanted Nigeria to get better. Yeah, I said that like over a year ago, and it's already happening. For 17 months of this illegitimate regime of the kleptomaniac, druggie, certificate forger, Tinubu, his federal government has not been able to attract more than $29.5 million. That is the money that people have actually put into the country. But they have told you that Tinubu, he went to India, and the Indian businessmen, G7 or G whatever, they pledged over $20 billion investment in Nigeria. It's been over a year now. $20 no come from India so far. Then they went to Dubai and they told you that business investors from Dubai, they have pledged $11 billion to invest in Nigeria. $11, they don't invest. And they also went to America, where they told you that Microsoft, Tesla, Elon Musk, all these billionaires from America, they were all fighting to see Kolu. Remember? Then they said, it was a success because Kolu has attracted over $50 billion investment to Nigeria. $50 no come from the place till now. And if you question them that how far with all these investors that you said, all these things, go and read them online. Go now, go and check Google. We see all these lies coming from the way that they smoke a gum. That one where they smoke latrine. Or Nofunuga, from whichever part of the hellhole is currently lodging inside the contraption, is the one that is always cooking the figures. When I go on the wait, you will be waiting for these Indian billions they want to invest in Nigeria. Where is the billion? This American billion that they want to, where is the billion? Nobody is going to invest in a country where your president is a heroin trafficker, drug dealer. That's the first red flag. Then nobody is going to invest, no real person, no real legit business will invest in a country where you do not have anything called rule of law. A place where if you put your money there, you just do what? You do Sahara. Sahara is like a freebie. Investors are people who keep other people's money. They are looking for where to put the money and make profits. And if you want that, you need consistent, stable policies. In Nigeria, they don't have that. It is like a gamble. In the morning, they can tell you, Tinubu has ordered this. In the evening, they will say, no, he did not order. He only said, that's how they've been running the hellhole. The NNPC, which happened to be another cesspool of, in fact, it is actually the bane of Nigeria's economic woe to start with, apart from the insecurity, right? The NNPC is so corrupt that a typical Nigerian will tell you that they are oil-producing country. But as much as they pretend to be educated, right, miseducated people, so to say, there's none of them that can answer the. I've been asking these questions for a while. I know how much crude oil Nigeria is purportedly to be selling every day. $1.3 million, 1.3 million barrel. That's 1,300,000 barrels every day. Can anybody tell me how much NNPC Nigeria has remitted into the Nigeria Federation account as it is required by law since January 2024? Let me even start from this year. Don't go far back. Just this year. Nobody can say. Nobody can say how much. Not even Mele Kyari, the guy, the criminal that is in charge of the NNPC, can answer that question. How much have you remitted to Nigeria Treasury since January to this October we just ended? Nobody can answer that. The Nigeria manufacturing sector is as good as dead as dodo. It's dead like dodo. But they continue to cook figures. And you see, data is very stubborn. Here you get Nigeria's inflation under these criminals is out of the roof, right? Which means businesses are dying. As businesses are dying, government revenue continue to dwindle. As the economy continue to shrink, and then your naira continue to lose its value. Inflation continue to hit deep into your economy. So is your debt profile. Nigeria's debt when Tinubu came in was put at, in Naira, was put at 140 or 150 billion Naira, 150 trillion Naira. Trillion, no, Naira. $105 billion. And if you put it was like makes sense, right? Then they said the official exchange rate of Nigeria's Naira to dollar was put at 410 Naira to a dollar, even though black market was like a 700 Naira to a dollar. So that means if your debt is 100 and let's say $120 billion, you just multiply it by 400 Naira or 410 Naira. And then you'll be getting something around 150 trillion. Today, Nigeria Naira to dollar is official, not like black market, to 1,710 Naira. That is more than double what it was last year before this Oluwole Chicago accountant became your president. Nigeria economy shrank from $258 billion GDP, shrunk to $191 or $189 billion. Nigeria economy lost more than $60 billion in a space of 17 months. So where they started from, right? They said that the Nigeria unemployment rate, since tens of thousands of businesses have closed down in Nigeria, millions of jobs have been lost. Majority of those who were shouting renewed hope just last year, this time 2 years ago, some of them have become olushi. Some of them have either sold their cars or they just can't drive their cars anymore. Businesses who are still like managing under Bokwari, some of them are dead now. So where do you think? And Tinubu, on the other hand, has continued to increase the taxes left, right, and center. So you see, all of these things may be sound to the layman. It may be sounding like, okay, what is really going on? Don't rush. Don't rush. We're going to take them one by one, and then you will be asking the questions. And like I said, there will be rhetorical questions where you already get the answer. I mean, as you're asking, you'll be like, So what about, you get, Nigeria has lost so much money to the point that Tinubu and his gang, they have been printing money like never before. And I'm talking about not just printing money to replace dirty money. You see have all the dirty money everywhere. The other day I said, if you go on and check today, you will see money printed in October 2024. Somebody said, well, it's the duty of the central bank to always print money so that they can always replace dirty money. Now, every month, when they replace every dirty money, they are not printing money to replace dirty money. They are printing money as if to say them be printing press, right? In order to cover for, number one, whatever they are doing with your crude oil money. Because normally they were supposed to sell, bring the money, share the money. But the NMPC and their gang, like they were doing under Bokwari, they can't give accounts of what they have been selling. So Tinubu made an announcement and said, all the money printed by Bokwari, ways and means, he has paid it off when he didn't, so that he can have a clean slate of printing his own, that he's almost printed the same amount of money Bokwari printed and borrowed from the central bank in 8 years. Tinubu has already printed almost that now in 18 months. So when they started with the cooking of the figure, right, cooking of the book, Nigeria's unemployment rate was at over 70% when Tinubu came in. And it's probably like 90% now. And guess what? they decided to cook the figure and said the vulcanizer is employed. The person who is selling puff puff is self-employed. So all of these people, they are supposed to be categorized as employed people. And that was the argument. So when they now did their abracadabra, first they sacked the person who was actually giving out the data, which were also like a doctored data by then. I mean, back then they were doctored, but they're like a near close. So to say, like a close to what it was at the time. They said Nigeria unemployment rate was 60%. When Tinubu and his gang came in, they sacked the guy and they appointed another person. That one now did what they expected him to do in the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. What did he do? He came back and said the barrow butcher is employed, the shoemaker, shoe shiner is employed, pop seller is self-employed, and all these people, they have never been covered before. So therefore, Nigeria no get unemployment problem. In fact, Nigeria have so much employment that only 4% of Nigerian population, they are unemployed. Remember, these are people that were supposed to be like self-employed and maybe meet the ratio, the cutoff ratio of people who also pay taxes, Abi, but they can't tax them. Yeah, there is no system to tax them. Because if you put together what these ones are actually making, I mean, they can't tax them per se. Though they are working on how to tax them now and add them to, sure you get. And because of that, Tinubu and his gang, they gave themselves their I5. Nigeria no get unemployment problem. So therefore, they don't have to worry themselves. If you are a graduate and this and that, you have no job. Go and look for something to do. Maybe you should go and become a shoe shiner because Nigeria no get unemployment problem. So, or if you, I mean, there are cases like that of a child. I mean, yeah, a child who went to the farm with his father. And as they were walking, the child screamed, "Papa, I found a snail." And the father said, "Oh, keep it. We will use that to appease your creator when we get home." A few minutes later, the boy screamed again, "I found another one. This one is bigger." His father said, "Oh, keep it. We will use it to appease your creator when we get home in the evening." So he repeated this again and again and again until it was time for them to go home. So, "Papa, I found another snail, very big. This one is massive." Said, "Man, your creator must really, really be happy with you. Keep it. We will use it to appease your creator when we get home." So when they got home, the father called the son and said, "My son, could you please bring the snails that you found, the biggest one that you found on the farm today, so that I can quickly pray for you and then we can appease your creator to continue to protect you and provide for all, stuff like that." And then the son laughed. "Papa, I mean, I didn't find any snail. Oh, I was just playing with you. I was just joking with you." And the father looked at him and said, "Oh, you are not, right? You are not playing with me. What you did was that you are joking with your own creator." That's exactly what is happening to Tinubu and gang. So eventually it will come to light. Sure you get. So since they cannot be bothered of creating jobs and they are telling themselves that even if jobs are leaving Nigeria, even the Ronukus were saying that the businesses that were leaving Nigeria is because they couldn't compete with the local businesses in Nigeria. While as they were living with their tax money. They were also living with jobs. More and more people are becoming like a jobless, unemployed, that they could barely feed. And that's the reality of the whole place. Then they quickly turned around. And this one actually gives a concern. I have a concern about that. And my prediction may be right. So when Bokwari was living, right, he used the supposed foreign reserve of Nigeria as a collateral. It took loan from Morgan Chase of America. Was you call them Chase Morgan or Morgan JP Morgan Chase. A collateral of the debt of 21 billion. Nigeria had 33.8, nearly 34 billion. That's how much Buhari purportedly left in the Nigerian foreign reserve. And you know something about foreign reserve? It's like your credit, it's like your savings, which also gives you a bit of a credit advantage for international lenders. So when they want to give loan or something to your country, they will look at what do you have in savings, so that they can be like, okay, if you don't pay us back, we can easily just go there and take our money from it. Here you get. So because Nigeria, the giant of Africa, could only boast of having $34 billion, where South Korea has over 400 billion. And some of these other countries have like, 500 billion, 700 billion, 200 and something billion in their own foreign reserve. So whenever they want to give those countries like, loan and all that, they give them loans in a very reduced interest rate because their credit is healthy. That of Nigeria is so low that many countries are wondering how Nigeria is agreeing and accepting some of these loan conditions from all these lenders around the world. How could your country will never make it if you continue to accept these loan conditions. But the reason is because Nigeria credit is so low, that they will just take anything. Even though the money they will take will never be invested in any sector of Nigeria that could hand them money. No. It will still be looted, right? So they make the deal with the JP, Chase, and all of them to the point that Nigeria was servicing debt with over 90% of our income. So let me explain that. It's like every 100 naira that Nigeria make, they have to use 97 naira to service debt. This is not paying back the debt. Nigeria is not even paying back our debt, just servicing. Servicing means paying the supposed charges every month on your debt. So let me explain that to you as well, what that means, like in layman terms. So it simply means that, let's say you borrowed 10,000 naira and you agree to be paying 100 naira every month. But unfortunately, what you are making is 100 naira. Oh, sorry, you are making, let's say, 50 naira. You're supposed to be, that means your repayment is more than your income. So, and if you don't pay, they will charge you. Nigeria just accepted to be paying the charges on it. Now, let's say the charges is, you are supposed to be paying 100 naira, right? And the charges is 20 naira. Sorry, the charges is, for example, the charges is 45 naira. If you don't pay us the 100 naira on your loan, we are going to charge you 45 naira. And you are like, you know what? I don't get 100 naira to pay. I'm not even making 100 naira. Okay, charge me. I'll pay you 45 naira. Meanwhile, you are only making 50 naira every month. Your 10,000 loan is still there. You are not paying anything back. But you have agreed that, you know what? Oh yeah, take 45 naira from my 50 naira every month. You are now left with 5 naira. So how would you now take care of your bills when all you are getting now is 5 naira from it all? So you can then probably just go on and borrow more. You get that now and say, you know what? Can you give me another 2,000 naira? Alaye, you already owe 10,000 naira. You are not even paying that. I know, but I need money. So, okay, don't worry. We'll give you 2,000 naira, but the interest is 30% interest. So that 2,000 naira, you are going to use that to pay 2,600 naira. Yeah, I know. plus the 10,000. That's 12,600. Yeah, I know. If you don't pay us, this time you will be paying us 120 naira every month. I know. But if you don't pay us the 120 naira, we will be taking 47 naira from your money. It's okay, take it. This is the kind of economic arrangement that these guys did, right? So the foreign reserve that is so low